All right, we are in a 2010 Mercedes GLK350, and we got the check engine light here. We got a code for the thermostat. So what's happening, and it happens on most of these generations of Mercedes, that the thermostat starts to fail and it fails open. So after some spirited driving, I was able to get it up to almost proper temp, but as soon as you slow down, the temp drops back down to like around 60 degrees. Actually, it seems to be working a bit better now than it was, but it's a bit warmer out today. When it was in below 20, it was not getting up to temp at all. But what we're going to do is we're going to replace the thermostat and bleed the coolant, and this car also needs an oil change, so we're just going to do overall maintenance on it. But yeah, let's get started. This engine takes 7.5 liters of oil, so you'll need to buy 2 5-liter jugs of liquid moly, and just make sure it has the Mercedes 229.5 certification. Okay, moving on to the thermostat now. It's actually right tucked in here. So we have to take off this vacuum pump. Then there's an idler pulley that we have to take off. And obviously there's a tensioner, so loosen the belt. But we'll start with the vacuum pump. Start with this line. Take some T30s. And pull this intake hose out of the way. As you can tell, I've seen better days. Tension off the belt. Belt's out of the way. Okay. Remove this idler pulley now. So you need some e-torque sockets for that. So this is e-torques, external torques. And don't forget there's a washer that goes on the back of it as well. It's also a good time to check the pulley for any, like if the bearing is starting to go on it. This one's very silent. So let's move on. Alright, now for the vacuum pump, there's 4 T30 screws. There's one here, and there's 3 on the bottom here. It's really hard to see. Okay, so got all the screws out, just gotta get all the vacuum lines off. And there's a electrical connector back here. That's off. And one more vacuum line. I think I'll just get a little screwdriver. These vacuum lines that have never come off are usually pretty tight. There you go. There's a vacuum pump. Just show you where all the screws are. Awesome. Put that up here for now. So here's your thermostat. Right here. Oh, looks like I need to take off another pulley actually to get to it. Alright, let's do that. Okay, I'm ready to start taking out the thermostat housing. What I want to do is just relieve the pressure in the cooling system, so just put a rag over it because it might still be hot. Pull this clip off and drain some of this coolant. Be careful, it might be hot. There we go. Worked out pretty good. Put this up here for now. Oh, there we go. And I don't know if my drain was in the correct spot, but there's the thermostat. There you go, connector's off. Cool. Gasket, I wish I had to clean the gasket off around here. Use a razor blade or something rather. Here's a new thermostat. It's an OEM one. I always like to use OEM parts, especially for thermostats. You always want the right temperature ones. I'm going to plug the connector back in first. There we go. Awesome. It'd be nice to have a little mirror to see what I'm doing under there. Here, I'll use the phone just to show you. Here's the bolt. Connector's on. Make sure the gasket is all on. The bolts have to go through it, so the bolts wouldn't go in if the gasket was misplaced. There you go. Let's make sure you don't pinch the wire for the connector. And we're good. So I'm just going to go ahead and reassemble this all. Okay, got it all back together. I'm going to have to clean this all up. I'll have to pressure wash the engine bay. Got some coolant down there. So now I'm just going to fill up the coolant bottle to the correct level. And we're going to let it idle with the heat on high, and I'm just going to bleed the system that way. Stuff that coolant all in. For a bit. Make sure the fans come on and it should be ready to go. Alright, went for a test drive and I got up to temp pretty nicely, pretty quickly this time, and it stayed there around 90 degrees. Check engine light is gone, so I didn't have to top up the coolant, so it bled pretty well, and oil was at the right level as well. So alright, we'll call this a success. As always guys, thanks for watching.